Hello again, and welcome back to the doctor's office. The same office that I have to share with a fucking out of his mind ginger and his stupid ideas every once in a while. I found a composition book a little bit ago. He says he found it, but I fucking found it. It was on my watch, and now I have it. And I have to share it with him because this is how we write our scripts. Because we actually decided to start working on scripts, which is why you see my hand moving right now because I'm holding it because I can't remember shit. That being said, it's full of random ideas that he has and my actual reviews, and it's getting kind of annoying having to deal with just him throwing stuff together. But you've probably already seen the title of this video, which is kind of an update to an older video of mine. I would say older, but it's not relative. It's just a few days or maybe a few weeks in between. But this is about a recent review, recent-ish, called Enjou Kouhai. This is the 4th episode in the series. The first episode introduced. Now, for all of those who didn't watch my previous video, you can watch it if you want. You don't have to. It's not like it's going to change your life in any meaningful way, but hey, you can do it if you want. I don't know, click on my channel, scroll through it. I'm not going to put it all in it's probably in like a sexier video. I don't know. Fuck you. But this is about the 4th episode. For a quick recap, the first episode deals with setting up the plot of the whole thing, where a teacher finds out that one of his students is going to be let me rephrase that. A teacher is assigned a student that he has to assist, if you catch my drift. Assist that student in helping make sure that the species of that student survives, given the fact that certain races exist alongside humans. Her being an elf and happen to be a princess. We all know where this is going. He has to assist her in becoming pregnant, but it happens over a long period of time because elves have different physiology than humans, and it's an excuse to continue on with more scenes throughout the entire series. The second one introduces a bodyguard that ends up being her sister, who's a little bit more bustier and is overall taller and more reserved as a character, giving her actual room to grow rather than being the I love you so much archetype that most characters are. The third episode introduces a completely new character altogether, a lolly dark-skinned dragon, and she's adorable. She's kind of a asshole who treats the teacher like a public service worker. And the whole thing is built around him deciding to help out a single person, and then the next episode they add in another person, and then they add in another person, and now he has to take care of all these 3 different people who he has to get pregnant because it helps their species, and he is pretty damn good at it. There's always a disconnect between it to where he's like, I'm gonna not get emotionally involved, I'm gonna make sure you're okay, I'm going to assist you. But then the 4th episode is where this picks up. They don't add in a new person, so that's meh. It's a little bit of a letdown. But it does well with the characters that it has. The 4th episode has 16 categories, so it's relatively spaced out. Most of them are vanilla-ish. The only one that I can think of is 4 letters and starts with O, R, G, and ends with Y. The whole thing is kind of him trying to convince himself that he's not going to kind of get together with these girls. He's going to make sure that he assists them, and he's going to lower the amount of times that he assists them so that they can continue to have a regular relationship with him. But they invite him over to the elf princess's house, and they end up all getting together because they were all there waiting for them to give them a reason to actually get together. Now, it pretty much leads into an entire scene. Just the rest of the episode is dedicated to like that scene, and it's only like 5 minutes. There's only like 5 minutes where there's actual no content to get, and the series itself is actually pretty decent, if not extremely vanilla in a lot of what it does. Now, to kind of summarize what happens afterwards, he ends up embracing the fact that he's going to have to help out these women, these special women, as much as he can, because he's starting to accept the fact that he enjoys what he's doing along with the fact that he has to do it. So he's going to take pleasure in it. Yeah, he's going to take pleasure in getting fantasy monster women pregnant. So, boy, I wonder how hard that was for him. I don't even want to say how hard it was for him. I wonder how difficult that was for the man. I'm also, there was an orc in my family lineage, so that also makes my stamina a lot better. You could have just said you're a hentai protagonist, and you could have like left out the orc thing. It didn't matter. Dude, you're in a harem hentai. You don't need an excuse to have a dick that never stops staying up. So after a while, all the series all the plot gets set up. The animation, I gotta say, is very on par with the last series. If not slightly better. I feel like they took their time on this one. They made the animation a little bit better. Not noticeably, but like if I were to rate it, this would be like a half a point above, but since I don't do half points, I'm not going to change the number, and I'm not going to round upwards of 5 because that's fucking stupid. Why do people round up when you get to 5? Like 5 would be the dead center. There would be no rounding at 5. You would keep it at 5 because 0.5 is a very understandable number. Why would you go up or down in any way? That's dumb. That little thing aside, the characters, they don't really have much development in this other than the fact that you find out that the dragon, Lolly, can actually change her physical appearance because she is a dragon in a human form, which is understandable since why would you want to be the most powerful thing in existence and then you just keep yourself tiny? It's kind of dumb. And you also find out that during mating season for the elf-related species, that their bodies immediately go into the cycle of what would happen if they were pregnant. That being said, breast size increases by a slight amount, and lactation continues, which is kind of strange, but it also helps add one more category to the group, which is breastfeeding. Yeah, when I say, when my version of vanilla is stuff that doesn't leave marks. And unless you count a hickey on your nipples, then I wouldn't really call that a mark. At least, unless, can you get hickeys on your nipples? Because, like, that's the whole point of them. You're supposed to, like, that's the only reason they're there. For guys, they serve no purpose. But they can if you are born with enough Y chromosomes and your body reacts, but like there's no point for guys to have it. But girls, that's the only point for having it, to just suck them titties. Is there the physical possibility that nipples can get hickeys? This is a question for a later day that requires more research, but I'll probably just tell the ginger about it. You know what I fucking said. Stop staring at me. Sit down, put it down. Yeah, when one of us is on camera, the other one's not allowed to talk. We're assholes, but we don't break that one rule. Now, that being said, the characters really only grow on more of a physical scale than they actually do on a spiritual scale. Like, they don't have any leaps in character, except for maybe the dragon, who is a little bit more submissive and ready to like actually get together. She still calls the teacher public servant instead of actually calling him senpai like all the other characters do, which is acceptable, but it's kind of like being a dick for being a dick's sake. And it's understandable for the character. Now, the content, like I said before, it's pretty much just, there's a brief scene in the very beginning of it. There's a little bit of a time skip, and not like a time skip, it's pretty much like 4 days. And then the characters all get, and then it shows the guy going over to the girl's house, and then meeting there, having dinner with all of them, and then it breaking out into just the entire rest of the episode is dedicated to everyone getting their own turn. And it's very well spaced out where they actually focus on the strengths of each character. Like the elf guardian. I feel like saying elf guardian is weird because that's like, I don't know why that sounds like I'm saying nilf guardian, and that is some fantasy thing that I can't remember at the moment. But the bodyguard is larger in size. She has more pronounced hips, and her boob size is bigger, so they kind of focus in on those a little bit more, which is appreciated. I do like her the best out of all the characters. And they actually show her emoting more during the whole scene, because she's kind of a stoic character, and she doesn't exactly emote the hardest while dealing with the hardest. Then the next character that gets it is the dragon, who ends up changing her body size to be a little bit more plump and plush. Kind of thing where if you hugged them, you would sink in a little bit and you would be like, this is the best fucking thing. Hey, they end up getting together, and as a way of like messing with him right when he's about to finish, she shrinks back down to her normal size. And then it fucks up the whole thing, and it kind of just messes with the guy for a few seconds. And then it finally ends with the guy saying, like, I think that's enough, I'm going to calm down, I'm not going to... And then the original character, the main elf princess, is sitting there with her panties around the middle section of her thighs. Saying, like, I'm ready, I've been waiting, we can finally get together now. And then they end up getting together, and it's probably my least like scene because it's more of like an emotional thing. I feel like I'd have to watch all 4 of them in a row, because I have seen all 4 of them, but I would have to watch all 4 of them in a row to actually like feel that scene. But on a single episode itself, with a little bit of time in between seeing those, it didn't fit as hard. But the actual scenes with the other 2 fit really well, because I feel like they had more personality than the original character. Because original character just kind of has like that basic, oh, I'm the perfect girl, everybody thinks I'm beautiful, everybody thinks I'm so sweet, and I have this loving relationship with my teacher. When the other characters are like, we're gonna need some like reasons to like you. And then they end up giving out actual personality, which fits better. That being said, they're pretty close to the final one. This is a little side note, but I don't know why I thought that the voice actor changed for the dragon in between the 3rd episode and the 4th episode. I don't know why. I remember the dragon having a higher voice, but then I went back and checked the 3rd episode, and I don't believe she changed. And if she did, it was a very, very subtle change, because I didn't notice it. Alright, they kept the voice actors, that's pretty good. And overall, yes, this has been the Dr. Doujinshi's HeNTaI review update for Enjou Kouhai. Episode 4 runs 16 categories with about 15 to 16 minutes overall of content. And the overall score that I'm giving for it, it focuses on the characters that I like, and of the character that I don't like, it doesn't show too much. So I would give this a solid 8 out of 10, mostly for the vanilla factor and the fact that it does whatever job that it's trying to do well, and it uses the good characters to their best. That being said, I am tired as fuck. I don't know why I record these at so late in the afternoon. Everybody's asleep by like midnight, but I'm like, no, I gotta do it at 2 in the morning. You know how motivated you are to do something at 2 in the morning when you're fucking hungry? Also, I didn't notice my water bottle was in the view. Let me just push that over. There we go. Now, have a nice day. Wash your hands or I'll break them off. And, Doctor, has signed out for the day. Bye, guys.